Greetings from Atoria, I'm our Lord Bones, IMO Reaper, Tale of a Pale Swordsman. Reaper is a 2D brawler RPG. It was released on iOS September last year and on Steam on the 8th by Hexage. Okay, 2 words, boring and repetitive. I couldn't actually bring myself to finish the entire game because hours 2 through 5 had the same enemies, skills and pretty much everything throughout the rest of the entire game. I literally did not think that my opinion would be affected by me then completing the entire game, seeing as 4 hours were pretty much the exact same thing. So therefore then I'm going to go off these 5 hours. So firstly, let's talk about this game as a PC application. So this is the options menu. As you notice, there are no resolution options including window mode, no rebindable controls, and this is very, very poor. These here are the 2 mode resetters. And you do have 10 volume settings. This completely unacceptable. I have no idea, by the way, about what this really does. I'm guessing it's for the higher scores, but either way, let's go back onto the main menu. It does run in 1080, which just happens to be the resolution of this monitor. I'm pretty sure it would sync to whatever size your screen actually has. So firstly, let's go into here. We have 2 modes, Wilderness and Dark Harvest. I'm going to show you Dark Harvest afterwards because it is a shorter version of the battle system. So I'm going to show you this first. Now as you can see, I'm level 21 up here, so this is when I ended up 5 hours in. And I've actually landed myself in a shop. So here you can see the overworld. This map hasn't really changed in the last couple of hours, to be honest with you. I've only got like 1 new location down here. Now, I'll only use the controller now, and you'll see what the controller actually adds onto the screen. That's this little circle pointer type thing. I'm guessing this is because they wanted to release this on Xbox. You can actually move around and then select where you want to go, and you will get random battles in the middle of you walking to places. So, for the moment, I'm going to go straight into the shop because the battles are very, very long. I want to do them in one go for you. So, this here is a shop, for example, and you have various slots around here, mainly your sword and your armor, the things you need to look out for. Everything, though, in this system is pretty generic, as you can see on the bottom. All they seem to do, and there isn't ever any extras, like for example, better against fire or shoots lasers and things. It's just simply more damage, crit damage, and so on and so forth the further you want to go into the game. And these upgrade, by the way. I've noticed they upgrade through your playthrough, so in the beginning you get fairly cheap items and eventually you get to items that are like this, which is 15 grand, which actually is much better than my current sword. I'm going to buy that now. So that's now equipped into there. So there are, as I can find, only 2 shops. I'm pretty sure that's not a shop. Yeah, it's not. It's just a home, which is this one over here, and a ring shop up there. To be quite honest with you, the weapons, there's not very many of them throughout the entire game, and you're basically just seeing all the customizability you're ever going to see. I'm going to now travel over to here, and if there's a fight, I'm going to pause and skip to the end of it because the fights are very, very long. Before I go on to that there, though, I want to press, I don't know what button it'll be on this, press my controller. This over here, which is our inventory. Now every single time you level up, you get a choice of one of these 3 cards. You'll get chosen a random card of these. Now, I'm going to scroll through these slowly so you can see them. But these cards here essentially are what the skills are throughout the entire game. And they are very, very basic. And to be perfectly honest with you, a little bit boring in the case of things like this one on the right over here. Pitfalls only cause 1/3 damage. Cheat deaths, you get a resurrection with a certain chance. And just basically buffs to the 4 attacks I think you get. I think it might even be 3 attacks that you actually get inside a battle. To be honest with you, I'd like this in the beginning until I realised there isn't anything that's actually very interesting within this skill set. And the mechanics themselves inside a battle are also very, very floaty, but I'll get to that in a second. So I have no idea why they thought that having so many very, very basic skills was actually going to be a good idea and bring a lot of variety to the table. No idea why, but they obviously did. This, by the way, happens when you upgrade your level up here, if you're wondering. I'm not going to travel to over there, so I'm going to press travel, and a mega battle on the way. I didn't, that's good. That means I can show you the battling now. So, I'm grabbing the controller now. So, before I actually go over there and attack that enemy over there, I want to say a few things. Firstly, this is one of my attacks here, done by pressing Y. Now, if I spam Y and move my controller to the left, which I am now, he doesn't turn until I stop pressing Y. That's one thing I've noticed that goes along, as a very easy way to proving and goes along with the idea that the combat is very, very floaty. For example, when I do this now, for too long, I actually can't stop him from doing the attack. He just does it forever until it's actually ended. I found that very, very, very floaty. So I'm going to attempt to actually not die here whilst commentating. So you're seeing now what are probably the most varied enemies in the game, because there aren't many of them. There's practically these, a few bears and boars and wasps, and that's pretty much it. Unless I already said bees and wasps. Either way. The weapons are also very bland, along with their attacks. Basically every single thing is either going to hit you straight ahead, or is going to fire some sort of bullet out of it. I suppose the only other thing are these things now, which are sort of pull out like sort of weird gas type thing of little blue orb things. I could do a grand total of a double jump and a spin after that, and I can do a sort of downward pounce. If I go next to where they are, never mind, I'll interrupt you then. It actually does do damage. Now, you actually have an auto attack, and I'm going to have to move away from these people or possibly end up dying in a second to be able to display. But here, I'm auto attacking, I'm not actually pressing my button, and you'll see at the very top is a skull, a bunch of skulls. Now they are rage, and this is practically the only way you're going to be able to play the game, because unless you actually get up some rage, you're not actually going to be hitting the enemies for any real amount of power. So you have to essentially walk up to an enemy and press nothing for a few times until it actually brings it up. In the skills as well, I'm pretty sure you can get a few rage things that does things like when you kill an enemy, you get rage and stuff like that, but for the most part, unless you're going to get these skills, you're going to be just doing that continually. You're also going to be seeing that screen a lot because the battles get tremendously more difficult, but only in the sense of tremendously longer. You have to last a lot longer later on in the game than earlier on in the game, definitely. You see there, I'm only attacking very weakly. If I actually just let go for a bit and actually end up just attacking and get some few skulls up, you'll see. Hitting fairly decently, I suppose, I don't know. Health is at the very bottom, and as you see in the top right corner, that is a percentage bar, the amount of enemies on the actual screen. Now, when that reaches 100%, that means you've got everybody. That's basically because some of the screens are a little bit bigger than others, and you don't really know when you're going to be finishing the level. I won't be finishing this level because it will take a long time, but you're basically seeing the most of the game, of the battle system, at least a part of the game, because the rest of the game is just basically the story system, which I'm going to be showing you now on the screen. What you're seeing now is all of these story elements. It's basically just text on the actual screen, and occasionally you do get options. These options generally just mean the difference between a fight or not a fight, essentially, and don't really affect any real story elements. Now, there's a few sort of good things I can say about this, seeing as I said a lot of negative things. Firstly, the art style, and secondly, while the story isn't good, you can tell there was actual effort put into the actual story. It's not just completely half-arsed, as it were. I'm going to show you Dark Harvest mode. This is the only other mode outside the actual game, in which you basically just have to continually defend yourself against enemies. So, and this version over here, you basically just get a level, and then the higher level up, the more enemies you'll receive. Now, the only reason why I say this here is because you now see I'm collecting gold. This is how you actually spend your money in the actual shop and any money in the actual shop. You also see this all up here means you've successfully finished a level. And I've actually got a choice in here. Now this stuff in Dark Harvest is kept separately from the main game, by the way. So I can choose another set of those cards. Let's choose Slam. But as you can see here, this has got completely separate items and it's completely separate money amount and so on and so forth. So this here essentially is the same game as the other one, other game mode, but without any of the story and walking around and exploring things. I personally don't think either mode really holds up. There's about an hour of gameplay and that's it. So I'm going to say my conclusion. That is, Reaper is a 1 hour game stretched over at least 5. I can't recommend it. Maybe on mobile, but I realised it's actually free on Android and iOS. Reaper is on Steam for $4.99, £3.99 or €4.99, or just free on Android and iOS. So I'll see you next one. Goodbye.